Welcome back to the Metal Mixtape here on KSQ 89.5 FM Max Oregon at 4.1 FM Medford and streaming online on KSQ. It is time. It is time. It is interview time. We have the one and only frontman from Wastewalker from Sacramento, California. Online. What is up, Kim? Rogers.
What's up? How you guys doing?
How's it going, dude?
It's going pretty well, man.
Sweet.
Just sorry.
No, I'm saying you're coming in clear, man.
Cool.
You are on FM radio, my friend, all around the
Sweet,
world.
man. That's I'm stoked. Hello, everyone out in FM world.
What is up? And we're online on kskqdjramo for any of our online listeners. Cam, super excited to have you on the line. Just a quick briefing of how I've heard of you guys. I heard of you guys because I heard that from multiple people that you guys are one of the most awesome bands live. You guys bring an extremely awesome show. Anytime I've ever talked to any metalhead promoters from across the West Coast area, and your name has came up, I've only heard that, dude, these guys blow the stages out of the water. They have so much energy, and also not only do they have the energy on stage, but they're also just technical and awesome musicians, dude. You know, I know that this one of the things I heard too before Wastewalker was Conducting from the Grave was a project too from back in the day.
Yeah.
And I heard from that project, you know, and then from certain members that are now in Wastewalker. And yeah, dude, I just, you know, and also a friend of ours, Liam, you know, I talked to him and I always ask him about like the area over there, and he told me like 3 band names, and he's like, dude, you want a stage performance, you need to talk to Wastewalker.
But it sounded more like, yo, you need to talk to Wastewalker. Right.
Exactly.
I love Lamb. Yeah, we were in Alter Beast together.
Yeah, no, he's a crazy busy guy, man.
Yeah, he is. He's very, very busy. He's I saw him recently. He's doing pretty well. I'm happy for him.
Oh yeah, me too, man. So Cam, you are the vocalist to this amazing brutal band, dude. You know, but one of the things that a lot of listeners don't know on here is that if you know that, you know, metal singer, is that Cam actually sings a whole lot of different styles. Cam is a very creative person. He is constantly creating. He's constantly getting inspired. You know, a person like this, I mean, a person like yourself is born naturally with creativity. But I want to talk about like when you were like maybe like a kid or a teenager, when you first started getting your passion for music, and what inspired it? Were you inspired by it? Was somebody hand you an album of some music? Did you have musicians in your family? When did this journey all start for Cam when he was younger?
It's hard to pinpoint exactly where. I'd say like my first foray into music was like choir, and then I actually picked up the saxophone. I don't know why I chose it exactly, but I stuck with it for quite a while. And then I then I asked for a guitar, and then I realized that I kind of thrive in spaces where I'm kind of the one that makes it happen, right? So I like the voice. So I have full control over it. It's like part of me. There's no overhead. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
One of the best things about being a vocalist is you don't have to lug stuff around, and that rules. It does. It really does. It's awesome. You know, I don't have the whole lead singer disease thing. I mean, I help my boys out, but yeah, it cannot be
when you can.
Yeah, when I can. Yeah. I'm not a. Yeah. But yeah, I think honest and interestingly enough, so when being in a band, like a band proper, it always seemed kind of unattainable for some reason. Like it was just the people that I would see on stage or on TV were just kind of like this. They weren't really like people, you know what I mean? Kind of almost like just like I don't know the word I'm looking for exactly, but it didn't seem like anything that was possible, right? And then I had actually seen Conducting from the Grave, and it dawned on me like, oh, these are guys from my hometown, you know what I mean? And they're making it happen. So that I think was like a huge catalyst of for my inspiration to like just do it. And then I spent a lot of time just kind of palling around at the studios, um, and just drinking, being hooligans, and I would just start growling and screaming like, "Hey, you should probably think about doing that." And so eventually, I just sacked up and did it.
That's
And
awesome, dude.
yeah, it was really cool. I liked how everything kind of fell into place for me. It was fun.
Well, dude, I'll tell you what, dude. When you're going into that realm where, like, yeah, you can scream into a studio, but then when you have to translate that into like doing it on stage and not hurting yourself and everything, when you first started, doing heavier music and everything, what was one of the biggest challenges you had to face as a vocalist, or right away did you start doing it right? What were some of the challenges you had, trying to go from just being somebody who's in a band to somebody who's really trying to take it to that next level? What were some of the biggest challenges you had to face?
I mean, as cliche as it sounds, stage fright was like a big one for me, man. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
um, I am one of those people that like I'm not crippled by it, but it does viscerally affect me. Like I'm not like I'll do the thing, but inside I'm terrified, like just like completely stricken with fear. And like I was in so my first proper band was called Sepsis, and our first show we only had 3 songs. Like we had just an EP, and so that was also adding to the stage fright. It was like, not only is this my first time doing this, but you know nobody knows we're just about to play 3 songs and be like, all right. And then so we got so we finished playing our last song, and I mean total our set was maybe like what, 12 minutes at most. And then you just hear some guy in the crowd be like, oh, that's it, okay, all right. So yeah, and we had, we had a pretty good laugh about that. Um, once I did that though, and like you finish up and you're like, well, I'm still alive, feel a little goofy, but it was worth it. So I just kind of kept at it, and it got easier and easier. I still get stage fright. I get nervous. Not it's a different kind of nervous. It's almost like a good nervous, but I don't think it I don't think it ever went away completely. But um, the getting through it and just pushing past it is like a better feeling than I could have ever imagined. I love it. So
Oh, yeah, it's almost like going parachuting, you know? It's like
yeah, it's its
it's
own
like
therapy, man.
yeah, you're gonna take that leap, you're super excited, but you're always just nervous about it. No, I totally feel you on that, man. I mean, I've been singing for years, and every time before I get on stage, I always do like I either feel like I'm gonna puke,
Yeah.
or I go to the bathroom.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh man. The bathroom, that's a big one for me. Like while the guys are like, sound checking it, I'll run to the bathroom like 2 or 3 times. Just be like, it's wild. It's wild. It's like gotta go. But but that's when the whole vocalist thing comes in handy because I don't have anything really to set up. Just plug in and be like, does it sound good? Yeah. Less than that monitor. Cool. Let's
Dude, that's
roll.
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Not only do you do brutal vocals, but you do clean vocals as well, and you're always talking about all sorts of artists that have inspired you.
Yeah.
What are some, like, just vocally in general? It doesn't have to be screaming. It doesn't have to be singing. Like, just in general, who are some vocalists, like not necessarily that you wanted to be like, but just people that you hold to like a high standard, a high caliber, that they made a huge impact on your life as far as like inspiring you.
So like how I started, like I didn't start out like listening to metal or anything like that. I was really into punk when I was younger. And I think punk kind of has that connective tissue with metal where it's like, it's aggressive, it's faster. Um, so it naturally I kind of progressed there. Um, but the first time I remember being like inspired, like in a sense that like it made me want to do that was like Drew Winter from
Yeah.
conducting in Shadow of the Colossus. That guy, not only is he incredibly talented, his voice is just powerful. But he is his stage presence is unreal. It's really cool. He does this weird like monster crawl back and forth. He looks insane. Like he looks like he's having an episode, but it works. Like he's a natural showman. He's very charismatic. He has complete and utter control of a room whenever you're watching him. I got to see the first and last Shadow of the Colossus a live show at the Boardwalk. It was fantastic. It was so cool. And I got my nose busted by a buddy of mine that night. But we're still alive. We're here. We got a cool story out of it. Um, but yeah, Drew, he was definitely the first performance that I saw, or I made that connection with, like, they're local, and doing it. But just how much control he had and how natural it looked, that was inspiring. Really, it really was. And he's just he's just a guy from around my neck of the woods, and that was really cool. As far as like really really like famous, like Glenn Danzig for sure.
Love
I
Glenn.
I'm a I'm a I'm a I'm a diehard Misfits fan. I don't know if you can see it on there, but
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah.
that was my first tattoo. The Misfits are my first love. Still love them. They just have that quality about them, and his voice is very powerful, kind of like Jim Morrison. Um, but it also has like he's also into the same weird stuff that I am, like ghouls and and stuff. So um, him, and then really I gotta get, like, when it comes to metal, and there's really nobody doing it quite like Travis from Cattle. Like, the guy is just an absolute powerhouse. Um, I'm not gonna blow up his head too big, but he's talented. He's very, very talented. He's very inspiring. Um, Everything he's brought to the table over the span of that band's career has not even changed. It's just added, and it's made an already well, like, very listenable product even better with each and every iteration. Each and every era of the band, it's just gotten better and better and better and better. And like that whole consistency of improvement is really inspiring. I like that. That's stuff I strive for. So, um, yeah, definitely. Those
Dude,
probably be like, yeah.
dude, that's absolutely awesome, dude. No, I love it, dude. There's nothing like getting inspired, dude. And with Wastewalker, dude, I think this band is absolutely fantastic. Why don't you tell me about why I think bands are special because of the individuals. Tell me a little bit about your band members of
Okay.
Wastewalker and why they're so rad.
So John's the guitarist and, like, main songwriter from Conductor from the Grave. Um, I had moved downtown, and I think I was on MySpace still, and I messaged John um, as a fan. I was a big fan, but I didn't approach the conversation that way. I was like, "Hey man, you bored?" He messages back. He's like, "Yeah, what's up?" I'm like, "I got like frozen burritos and like a bunch of alcohol." And he's like, "I'll be there." And like, I'm not even
The
kidding.
good old
Like,
days.
we've been inseparable ever since. Like, just um
It hurts my stomach.
yeah, John is he's a great guy. He's also kind of functioned as like a mentor too. Um,
Yeah.
like, he has that accrued wisdom from hitting the touring circuit pretty hard with conducting. Um, so I've gained a lot of knowledge from him. He's also just a funny dude. He's great. Um, Joel is our resident stoic. Like, he's he's the testosterone of the group. Uh, No,
You
he's
gotta have
needed. Like
that.
I was raised in an estrogen bath, man. Like I had three little sisters, my mom, and I think like two female cats. Like, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't raised in like that kind of atmosphere. And then Joel kind of provides that balance. So he's also everybody in my band is hilarious. I think one of the most important things in a band that if you're going for longevity is you have to have chemistry, and we have that in spades. Like we're constantly laughing. A lot of bands have that, but we hadn't had a single lineup change over the entire span of this band's career so far. Um, until, Nate passed away recently in May. So that was pretty gnarly. Um, and then Justin, our drummer, the guy is a wizard. Like he's kind of like our scientist. Like he was in this band Journal. And if you don't know who they are, I highly suggest you check them out. They are just just do yourself a favor, check them out. I'm not going to try and explain what Journal sounds like because that would just take up too much time. It's nuts. It's interesting, and all the music actually kind of tells you a little bit about Justin, if you think about it. Um, but yeah, we have the chemistry. So I think all the guys are in it for the long haul too. So, you know, we're yeah, we're tight. We're like brothers. So
I love it. I
yeah.
love it, dude.
So
Before I know one of the things we're gonna talk about is the new amazing EP that you got coming out. We're gonna talk
mhm.
about your new song, but I'm gonna throw you some wild card questions before we end the interview with that. You ready?
Heck yes, dude. Let's do it.
All right, and the genre of deathcore, it's very popular right now amongst people in their 20s and 30s. It's getting very popular amongst the extended range guitars, the breakdowns. There's people going brutal, and for some, and right now one of the most popular bands happens to be Lorna Shore,
Mhm.
and Will Ramos. Just I feel he gets a lot of crap just maybe because they got popular really big. They do their the big massive breakdowns like into the Hellfire and stuff. I mean,
Mhm.
I think this is like Lorna Shore's fourth singer. You know, uh,
Yeah.
So why do you think like the thing is like he gets a lot of great attention, but why do you think a lot of I've seen a lot of people in the underground like just like call them like overrated or well and not give them their flowers.
Well, there's one thing you can say about the metal scene. It's that it is lacking in its gatekeepers, right? I mean, we look, and even to the like in defense of gatekeepers, like this is a metal it's a niche genre, right? It appeals to a very specific small demographic in relation to the general population, um, and that feels personal. You know what I mean? Like you love it. It's your thing. It's like this isn't for everyone. This is for us, right? And so it's natural to kind of be protective over that thing. And um, another component to like the Will hatred. First of all, I'm going to say off the bat, Will is an extremely talented vocalist. There's no denying it.
Oh,
He's
it's
a
so good.
fantastic vocalist. He's very, very talented. I think where that the hatred comes from is like, um, it's just one of those things like you put out a heater, right? It's a banger of a song, and suddenly, a band that was, not nowhere near where they are now, like, and just overnight, I think there's I there I think it's understandable to like some bitterness maybe is
I,
understandable
I know
in
what
that
you're trying to
respect.
say.
Yeah, like I'm trying to be diplomatic about this. Like, I think, hmm,
But the thing is in life, when people like isn't that what you usually wish for people in any sort of band or project that you wish success for
yes,
them?
but when you're striving for it yourself and you're not seeing any results, and then you see somebody like get results, I mean, it can sting. You know what I mean? Um, Not everybody. I don't really function that way. Like, it's not like I don't get mad at it, but I do. I can't understand why people would. Um, but the thing is, man, he's not going to stop doing it until, he wants to. So, I mean, you
Dude,
might.
I personally love it for the reason that I think they played like Bloodstock or a really big festival,
Mhm.
and when you see like like a band like that, like a real like hardcore deathcore band play a massive stage like that in front of
Yeah,
like 60 or 70,000 people, like I haven't seen that in a long time, like on a like on a stage like that. And for me, I was like, wow, like it sounds really good when a band like that gets put on with like a great massive production, you know what I mean?
yeah, no, it's incredibly powerful. Like, I went and saw, I went to go see Gojira and Mastodon, with my friend Bim, and Lorna Shore was opening for it, and it was just packed out. Like it was massive, and whether you love them or hate them, you can't deny, like, they have a very, dedicated base, and like, there's a lot of them, which I think ultimately it's a net positive for metal in general, I think. Um, without losing that whole, it's our thing, but like at the same time, it is good for it to expand. It's like it's a reach. So
For
um,
sure, for sure. So,
yeah.
Cam, we're getting older, and this is gonna be a question off the cusp.
Yeah.
Like, what don't you see like a huge downfall in good movies?
Oh God, yes, dude. Oh man,
Do you remember
dude,
back in the day when how excited, like, kids will never know how awesome. You know what's crazy? It's like, we're in our 30s. Are you in your 30s?
I am.
Okay, me too.
I am.
So remember back in the day, it's like how awesome it was to like rent a movie, and like you had to make sure it was like there, like how excited you were that it was behind the little, or sometimes you run up and grab the movie, or it was that piece of paper, the
Mhm.
cardboard cut out, and you're just like, oh, it's out,
Yeah,
or
the
or
tactile,
how
like, yeah, holding it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's there's something to be said about that for sure. It's like, you know, um, I've since kind of gotten over the whole like I don't want it on digital because it's wildly convenient. There's no, it's super convenient. Like, it's like, you mean I don't have to get off the couch and go to the store? Okay, but um,
Well, I was
but
gonna say, to add a quick note is that there's so much information out there now that
mhm,
like when you do want to find a good movie, it's so saturated.
it is like, yeah, with like there's so many streaming platforms too. It's like it's sometimes it's hard for me to remember like what streaming service I have to like reactivate if I want to watch some. You know what I mean? Um, but on the topic of there not being any good movies, I did do. I hope I don't get heat for this, but I did do what I view as a moment of good parenting, and I showed my son Die Hard this Christmas, which I thought was a solid movie. Now skip past the one naughty part in the beginning, and we were good. But he dug it. We had a good time. Um, I want to impart like that appreciation for like, you know, the classics, so, um, but yeah, there are some good movies though. Like
Yeah, there is.
Mad Max Fury Road.
That was pretty
That,
good.
that movie rules.
I I, I think didn't they like? I'm pretty sure Tom Hardy only said like a sentence in that movie,
He said a couple of things, but,
couple sentences.
I mean, the cinematography in that movie was just out of this world. Like, and the practical effects with like all those cars were just they were blowing those cars up, dude. Like, how sweet that job is. It's like, oh, we're out here in Australia, like in the desert, just blowing up cars. Like, that's a pretty sweet gig. I mean, from what I read though, it was actually pretty miserable, but I don't know, man. I can see myself still being pretty pumped.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
for sure. I what I do like about how many movies there is out now, that like I've watched some pretty good foreign movies.
Oh yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, I highly recommend people who like maybe have gotten tired from like American horror. Check out some foreign horror, because
Definitely. Definitely.
there's a lot of great foreign horror. Like you have, like I don't mind subtitles.
No,
I actually like them because like I feel like I'm a better reader sometimes than a listener.
no,
So
for sure. It's your focus. You're focused in.
yeah, yeah, the
Yeah.
focus. So I love watching. So for anybody out there for horror movies, dude, check out foreign movies, dude.
Yeah, Train to I'm gonna butcher that. Train to Busan. That's a Korean film. That movie is a zombie flick, which I
Oh,
know is oversaturated, but it's a good one. It was really cool. Wasn't I mean, I liked The Platform. I liked that movie. I also like kind of messed up, but I liked it. Pan's Labyrinth. I think Pan's Labyrinth is a good example for like, how you, you have to watch that movie at least once. It's really good. It's just beautiful film. It's wildly creative. Um, but yeah, you are reading subtitles that entire movie, and it's worth it. And you should do it. And
yep. No,
if
I
you're not
agree.
good at
Pan's Labyrinth is
reading,
good.
get more gooder at reading and watch those movies.
I like it, man. Yeah, no, reading's good for you, man. You know what's been a curse and a blessing? Autocorrect.
Oh my God, dude.
Dude, before autocorrect came out, Cam, I used to be a 10 times better speller. And now I'm just waiting for that autocorrect to help me. I'm like, come on, just give me the word already.
Dude, it feels like most things in life are just getting their own version of autocorrect. You know what I mean? Like it's I'm pretty sure eventually you're not gonna like everything you think is gonna come out perfect and succinct and everything like you're just gonna have autocorrect for your entire brain. So just I don't know, it feels like we're heading that way. But yeah, it is definitely I feel like it's also with specifically with autocorrect, it's made me dumber for sure.
No,
Like
it
because
definitely agreed.
I know I used to be able to spell restaurant. I know it, dude. I had it. It was there, and then just poof, it's gone. Thanks, Google.
Does appointment have two P's or two M's? I'm just joking.
Yeah, there is one. So I always do know how to spell beautiful. Do you
Yeah.
know how?
Bueat Buful, right? Beautiful.
No. The method of how you recall it.
What do you mean?
Just
So what tell me.
The movie Bruce Almighty.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Oh, BE. Oh yeah, BE.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
love
so
it.
I'll always be able to spell beautiful.
I love it, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a random fun question. I do this
Yes.
with all the it's crazy. Like a third of the people can't even answer this, but you're just the type of guy who can answer this question.
Yeah, or
All
I'll
right,
or I'll fake it.
all right.
So
If you could choose your death, but it had to be by somebody in a horror movie, who would you choose to kill you, and how would they do it?
my death. Oh man. See, I would say the reason why people can't answer this is because you just gave them like an entire universe of potential, and they're like, oh man, I want to be killed by everyone, but I have to pick just one. So you know what? I would say the Cenobites from Hellraiser.
Okay.
Morbid curiosity. That's I'm a curious cat.
I
I
love it.
just I find where they come from and all that. It's bizarre. Also, uh, nobody will say that it wasn't like he didn't go out in a cool way. Like it's just the most gnarly way possible.
Oh yeah, I'd want to go out by like you remember the movie Puppet Master?
Oh man, it's been a long time.
Yeah, no, but they had a bunch of like little puppets. It'd be cool to get killed by like
Ooh,
10 little puppets.
ooh, I thought of a better one. Do you ever watch the Cube movies?
The Cube movies?
Mm-hmm. It's called Cube.
Dude, it's I don't know. Tell me, enlighten me.
All right, so this group of people like wake up in this like giant cube, and it's like made of it's comprised of like rooms. They're all cube rooms, and you have to navigate your way out of it. But a lot of the rooms are like death traps. It's I'm not doing a
Oh,
service. Watch Cube. It's
okay,
love
yeah.
that.
It's almost like um Trap Room type of movies.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I've watched a lot of those.
It's it's weird. I don't know. I'm also into like the whole like I'm a sucker for like the whole mystery, like the mystery box gimmick for movies is like who's behind it? It's like I gotta know. So yeah,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sucked
yeah.
in. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
love that stuff.
It's always the second to last person who died.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the movie where like they get to the end and then they figure out who the person is pulling strings, and it was like the first person that died in the beginning of the film. He's like just dead already. It's like
So, dude, let's get into your new EP, dude. Let's talk about it, and just tell me about the direction you're going with with the band, the inspiration behind it, and then we could talk about the new song we're gonna play.
cool. So so the EP is called Trap Between Realms of Suffering. Um this so we're approaching it a little bit differently and how we're still figuring it out, right? Because we're not like signed to a label or anything like that. So we are kind of, our own bosses in that regard. But that also means that we're also in charge of, everything. So like how we release it, and like it allows a lot of freedom, but it's also kind of overwhelming at times because, you know, labels have like a wealth of um, connections and things that like, they kind of have like a pathway for you. You forging your own path is difficult because there's no one way to success, right? And with the industry constantly changing and shifting, like, you kind of got to adjust and adapt. You got to be like, a little bit of a chameleon. Um, and you got to take risks, I guess. Um, you know, try things, I guess, see if they work. Um, with this, the EP itself is I'm really proud of it. John John's a fantastic writer. It's one of the coolest things about like, being in a band with him is like, how much I respect his writing and like, I trust him. And I give feedback and stuff, be like, hey, maybe this and this, but for the most part, I mean, he's the dude's just got it. He's got that magic sauce in him. This I will say that this EP does have um we're trying things. We'll say that, right? Um and I think you'll hear that a little bit with the song I'm gonna show you. But it's we're already working on new material. We've been sitting on this for a while, and we were, set back obviously after Nate passed away, and it was weird. We were in this weird kind of place. You're like, you know, how do we go about this? We wanted to be, honor him and his time in the band with us because there's no way around it. Like because we've had the same lineup, like Nate passing, like that's kind of like the end of an era for this band. You know what I mean? Like there's a shift. Um, so I've been talking to the guys and was like, I want Nate to belong to that era of the band. I want that to kind of be his, and then I want to kind of like with our logo, I've been talking about kind of like seeing what we can do with that in the future and changing it. And that shift is also kind of like will serve as like a monument to him. You know what I mean? Like because like he affected that change, and like his departure means that we've changed. We're and but he'll always be with us. Um, he's it sucks. It's one of those things where it's like really hard to navigate, but I think we're figuring it out. Um, I'm very proud of what the guys have done. They always bring their A game. I also really amped up my input for this. So you're gonna see a lot more of like, my my own personal meddling in here, which I'm also very proud of. Um, with that, I think for the most part, this EP will be a bridge, right? From between like, what has been established and then where we're trying to go. And there is one thing I would like to say, but I'm going to hold off on it just because um, you don't want to show your whole hand. You know what I mean? But I think people will be excited once we release it for sure. Um, and yeah, I'm just excited. Yeah, very excited.
Dude, super awesome. Cam, thank you so much for being on the show. Everybody who's listening online around the world, we're talking to Cam Rogers from Wastewalker, fantastic vocalist. You're listening to him here on KSKQ's 89.5 FM Ashland, Oregon, 94.1 FM Medford, Oregon, and stream online on kskqdjramo.